Missouri AG Andrew Bailey overturns his own emergency rule blocking trans health care. Missouri officials abruptly terminated an unusual emergency rule proposed by the Republican Attorney General that would have place limits on transgender care for some minors and some adults. The move was announced without explanation on the Missouri Secretary of State's website. The rule pushed by Attorney General Andrew Bailey would have required adults and children to undergo more than a year of therapy and fulfill other requirements before they could receive gender-affirming treatments such as puberty blockers, hormones, and surgery. Legal experts and transgender advocates have said the rule would have made Missouri the first state in the country to restrict gender-affirming care for adults and the first time to enact such restrictions through emergency rules rather than a new law. Bailey often spoke of the need to protect children from what he refers to as experimental treatment. But after announcing the rules, he said they were designed to protect all patients, regardless of their age. House Minority Leader Crystal Quaid, Democrat from Springfield, said in a statement that Missouri should not have an attorney general, quote, who persecutes innocent Missourians for political gain, end quote. Bailey had sought to implement the rule on April 27th, but the ACLU of Missouri filed a lawsuit to stop it, arguing that Bailey bypassed the legislature and did not have the authority to regulate health care through Missouri's consumer protection law. Well, again, like we mentioned, it doesn't stop at the kids, right? So, this seems to be the first grab at, you're an adult. And this is the party who constantly is talking about personal freedoms, yet they're ready to start burning books and tell you what you can do with your body, what you can do in your bedroom, what words you can use, what words you can say. I mean, it's just fascism. You need to just start calling it that, blatantly, openly.
Somebody correct my aging memory, but wasn't it Republicans who were screaming, the government shouldn't get between you and your doctor, about when the black guy was president? And I'm saying it that way for a reason.
Yeah.
I heard a long time ago, the Republicans are not the party of less government. They are the party of unless government. They only care for the rights of straight, white, cisgender men. You have rights unless you're a woman, unless you're gay, lesbian, trans, unless you're a person of color. I mean, the list can go on, but somebody take it away, because I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with all that. I'm just so tired of hearing it, because I don't know what else to do about it, because they don't care how hypocritical they are. They don't care that they don't care. You can call them anything.
Well, their supporters don't care, and that's what lets them run rampant with just all of the nonsense that they, constantly contradict themselves. One of the craziest things I ever heard was, Trump, when he was running, saying, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and I wouldn't lose a vote. That turned out to be true.
It's the truth.
Like, that is so scary.
But this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's not that this stuff doesn't frustrate me. You understand? It doesn't infuriate me. All right. It's not like it doesn't keep me up at night. Right? And it makes me question my neighbors and question the people that I'm sitting at the table with. No, it's not just that. It's the fact that, like you just said, we'll go ahead and echo it. We have to stop echoing their message. I'm so mad because you are against trans and you're trying to do, and so we're just basically giving them free marketing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We're sitting there going and tweeting, oh, this guy, oh my God, that guy. And we're just retweeting their rhetoric and their just lies and all of it, and their hate and all of it. And what are we doing? Instead, we gotta shift our energy, guys. We have to shift our energy, and we have to focus strategically on how we're going to respond to this, but in a way that doesn't repeat what they're saying, because we don't need to respond to them, because that's defense. And we don't need to be in defense of ourselves. We simply need to be on the pushing the positive message of the LGBT, the stories, our celebrations, our wins, our heroes, and keep on putting those people in the face of the public, and use all of our access to get them in front of as many people as we can see. So we change the narrative, because that's what they do. They're controlling the narrative right now, because we're taking it and we're like retweeting it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you look at,
Josie.
CNN,
Yeah, it's true.
and MSNBC, I find them to be just as responsible for, putting out Trump's rhetoric and, making it so readily available to so many people. And, it is good for ratings. He is a clown. He will say whatever. And to be honest, most of us, whether you like him or not, are waiting to hear what that next thing is going to be. Because it could be stupid or awful, or, you might be one of those people who see him as, the next coming of Christ. But, regardless of what it is, we're providing the platform for them.
Yeah. Two things before we move on that makes me very happy about this story. One, this is a win for our trans brothers and sisters in the heart of the heartland. So that's great. And also it exposes the hypocrisy of the fascist Republican Party. This was an emergency rule. There's no emergency surrounding trans people that concerns Republicans. There's emergencies around the trans community because of the Republicans, but they're the ones who cause it. There's no emergency here. This law would have made doctors responsible for follow-up care until the patient was 45 years old. Wow. And then if any time they had a change of mind or said, oh, I don't like this or that, they could have come back to sue the doctor. And they set up an emergency page on, I believe it was the AG's website, for people to report their neighbors who they think are getting or dealing in, underground heroin. I'm sorry, I don't mean heroin. I mean hormone blockers. That's how they were treating this story. So this is a good win for us. Hopefully the legislature will just let this one die in the next session.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show from Happening Out Television Network. In the model of PBS and NPR, we educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of the LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the stories going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.